midnight drearies.
As the sun set over the kingdom of Arendelle, a chill descended upon the land. It was a foreboding sign of what was to come, for lurking in the shadows were the heartless creatures of darkness that thrived on fear and despair. They had been drawn to the kingdom by the power of Princess Elsa, who was now known as the Snow Queen, and were determined to make her one of their own. Elsa had always known that her powers were dangerous. She had spent most of her life hiding them away, fearing that they would hurt the people she loved. But the Heartless had sensed her power, and they were relentless in their pursuit of her. They crept through the streets of Arendelle, whispering dark promises to anyone who would listen. At first, Elsa was able to fight off the Heartless. She used her powers to create walls of ice to keep them at bay, and she summoned snow and wind to freeze them in place. But the Heartless were persistent, and they continued to chip away at her defenses. One night, as Elsa slept in her castle, the Heartless launched their final attack. They crept into her room, their glowing eyes fixed on her as they closed in for the kill. But Elsa was ready for them. She stood up, her eyes blazing with the power of her magic, and she summoned a blizzard that enveloped the room. The Heartless were no match for Elsa's power. They were blown away like leaves in a hurricane, and Elsa thought that she had finally defeated them. But she was wrong. The Heartless were cunning, and they had a plan. They retreated into the shadows, waiting for the right moment to strike. Days passed, and Elsa began to feel a strange presence around her. It was as if something was watching her, waiting for her to let her guard down. She tried to ignore it, focusing on her duties as princess, but the feeling only grew stronger. One night, as she sat alone in her room, the Heartless struck again. They appeared in a swirl of darkness, their twisted bodies writhing in the air. Elsa tried to fight them off, summoning her powers of ice and snow, but it was no use. The Heartless were too strong. As they closed in on her, Elsa felt a sudden surge of fear. She had never felt anything like it before. It was as if her very soul was being sucked away. And then, just as suddenly as it had come, the fear disappeared, replaced by a feeling of emptiness. The Heartless had won. They had taken Elsa's heart and turned her into one of their own. She was no longer the Snow Queen, but a creature of darkness, her soul trapped in an icy prison.